Excel can be named the key to all businesses. But do you know what Excel is or how to even use it? Let's get into that, shall we? I'm just gonna explain to you what this tutorial is all about. So this tutorial is going to be from the most simplest simple to the most hardest that I can do. So essentially, I want to make this tutorial essentially if you have no knowledge of Office 365 or Excel whatsoever. Like, you don't even know what a font is. And that's why I'm going to go and teach you everything about this. And that's the introduction. Let's get into the video, shall we? First thing we need to know is some of the terminology that is used in Excel. So the first things first is these little rectangles. These are called cells. All of these little squares, rectangles, are cells. So the second thing you need to know is the difference between columns and rows. Rows go like this. So this is a row, and essentially this is a column. As you can see, columns go up and down or vertically, while rows go right and left or horizontally. So that's all the terminology you truly really need to know. If you need to know anything else, it'll just be explained later in the episodes or this even episode in this tutorial. So let's get into the first step in learning how to make your text pretty in these cells and even how to write in these cells. So let's get into it. The first thing you need to know, and this is an absolute need to know, is that if you double click on a cell, you're able to write in it. It seems so simple, but it is so important. And enter will give you the cell underneath of it, and tab will give you a cell to the right of it. So if you wanted to go down one and right one, you would click enter and then tab, which is an easy way if you're not wanting to move your mouse to the position. So like you want to do that, you could just um, boom. It's quite faster, but let's do A1. Let's say we want to write Q1. As we can see, this isn't like bringing out to me. Whenever you're making a table or a chart, you want the letters to pop out. You want it so that the viewer sees it and they know instantly what you're talking about. And it pops out. You don't want a bland table or a chart, or it's not going to bring interest to your business meeting or school meeting. So if you click on the cell and then go over here, these are fonts. These essentially change how the words look. So if you click this drop bar button, and you can see all of these different ones, and if you hover over it, you can see it change. So let's do Arial Black. As you can see, it looks a lot better, and it pops out a lot more, and it's bold to us. So let's say we don't want it this size, and we wanted it like a tad bit smaller. We go over here, right, and we can see it's 11. If we turn it down to 10, see how it changes the size? It changes it a little bit, but it does do quite a bit. Okay, so this may have came up as a problem. So let's say if you didn't do the font I used, which is Arial Black. So let's change this to something such as, let's just do Century. As we can see, it doesn't have that bold that we had. So if we select the cell, and then we click bold, we can see it gets that bold out of it. So if we remove the bold and try with a different font, something that would work a lot better. So let's do Comic Sans, one of the most hated fonts ever to be used. And we do bold, you can see it gets that extra border to show us it's more important than some other text that may be in the chart or table, and that is what we should focus most of our attention on. So I'm going to reset all of these using Control Z. My bad. And then let's say we want the background to be blue. If we select the cell and then we go over here, click this drop bar button, we can click any of these colors. But you can click more colors and you get more variety of colors, but I usually just use these colors since they work perfectly fine 99% of the time. So we said we wanted blue. I'm going to use it light blue. As we can see, this one cell has been background colored as blue. So if we click and hold, and then we do the drop bar button, and then we do this color, we can see all of these cells get blue. But as we can see, the lines disappear, so it looks like one big cell while it isn't. As you can see, I click inside of it, it's multiple different cells. So how do we resolve this? We select all of these, and then we go over here, and we click the drop bar button, and we get a border. So I'm just going to use all borders. As you can see, it shows us all the individual cells needed. So let's say you don't really want black, but you still want the bold. Luckily, since we have Arial, black will stay bold. But if you have it on bold, it will stay on bold unless you unselect it. So if we click on the cell and go over here, let's say we want it to turn white. As we can see, it's turned white, and now the lettering is white. This essentially allows us to change our lettering color so that we can differentiate from two different data types so we don't get mixed up whenever reading this. This is a common used tactic, is we use different colors for rows and columns just for the fact that we are scared that whenever reading this chart we lose track of which one we're reading and we read it totally wrong. This is all what I'm going to cover today. I'm going to have a full series out soon. I'm going to bring one episode after another. I hope you learned something, and please check out my other videos. Please consider subscribing, and have a wonderful day or night.